Welcome to IT in Motion, where we make autonomous IT entertaining and informative. My name is Sanjog.
And I'm Josh. We're your hosts. Today we're talking to Josephat Hema, the founder of Street Afia. Everybody give it up for Josephat!
Welcome to the show, Josephat. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. So my name is Josephat Hema. I'm a student. I'm studying masters in the United Kingdom at Swansea University. I'm studying data science. So I'm doing a transition from being a pharmacist to a data scientist. And I'm also a founder of Street Afia, which is a community research organization based in Arusha, Tanzania.
We've heard that you're you love poetry. You're very passionate about poetry. Yep. And I think that you have something prepared to share with us and our audience today. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure.
You mind sharing that?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, it's not Shakespeare, but it's one of the poems that I really like. Also from one of the amazing British poets of all time. It's called Invictus. So this poem was also adopted in Nelson Mandela documentary. So that's why it's got something which is very important to me as a person who likes poetry, but also an African. You know, Nelson Mandela has got a very big history in the struggle of Africans to independence.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to read. The poem is called Invictus. Invictus. Here we go. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquered soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the broodings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters now how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. This was William Ernest Henley.
Wow.
All right, thank you.
That's really powerful. Tell us why is that hit home for you? What is the meanings? Kind of how did that land on you?
Yeah, it's an inspirational poem. So it just tells you to keep on moving, keep on pursuing your dreams, keep on moving forward regardless of the odds or any hard circumstances on the way.
So on days when you probably feel like you need a boost of confidence, you probably read that and say, "Hey, I can persevere. We can get through this," right?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm looking forward to actually pin it somewhere in my room so that like every day I'll be reading it and get inspired.
Yeah, that makes
positive affirmations. I do that too, you know.
Some inspiration every day. Absolutely.
I look in the mirror sometimes. I'm like, "You're enough." All right. All right. Great. Well, Josh, I think he had told us a little while ago that he was a co-founder of Street Afia, correct? Not to be mistaken for Street Mafia. I did not say that. Can you tell us what that organization was designed to impact?
Yeah, so basically Street Afia, first of all, street is street, but Afia is means earth in Swahili language. So it's a combination of two words, Swahili and English language. Mm-hmm. And I got the inspiration during COVID-19 by the time I was doing my internship in the hospital. And I came to realize that there is a gap of knowledge, especially in my local community. So during COVID-19, we had a lot of wrong ideas on how to treat or prevent COVID-19. And I came to realize that there is a certain way whereby the local community is not having good access of knowledge. So together with my friends, we started to create an organization and we registered it. And what we are doing actually, we call it Health Civic Engagement. So it's a community outreach program whereby we are reaching the local communities, listen to the challenges they are passing through, and discuss with them. And the discussion also based on how they can contribute on solving the problems they have. So we are trying to make them responsible for what they can do in their communities rather than just waiting for the government to do something for them. So that's why we call it a healthy civic engagement, trying to go against the so-called bottom-down approach and try to motivate them to make their own solutions in the problems which they are facing them. Like most of the times, it's not always the government can do something um, right for people. Sometimes people, they must have the idea of trying to find their local customized solutions to the challenges they're passing through. And in case they need their help, then that's the point when they can get a help from the top leadership. But generally, we wanted to make them responsible, especially in the health challenges that they are passing through in their communities. So that was the background
Love
of
that.
Street Afia.
Yeah.
Just empowering the people, giving them the tools to be able
Yes.
to help themselves and their community, not dependent on, the governance to provide that for them.
Yeah, it's really a mission of education and like you said, bottom up growth and bottom up self organization to solve community problems. So clearly, that's an important mission to you. What about that mission is important to you?
Okay, so from doing the physical outreach to people, we also decided to go extra mile by including digital transformation. So right now we are working on some digital tools whereby we'll be able to gather information from people, like to understand the level of knowledge and perception on different health issues.
Mm-hmm.
So we are passing through a certain digital transformation journey whereby we are including digital technology in solving people's issues. According to TCRA, which is Tanzanian Communication Regulatory Authority, 50%, around 50%, and a little bit more than that, of Tanzanians have access to internet. So these people, they have access to knowledge, but how are we going to sensitize people to have access to knowledge? So we are passing through that journey, and it's the journey that before we are going to empower people into utilizing well their digital means to get knowledge, we as leaders or people who are visionary in that path, we are supposed to be transformed first. So together with my friends, we have like a period whereby we are empowering ourselves, we are getting knowledge, we are getting different trainings, and we are trying to incorporate all these trainings, all these knowledge and skills that we're going to gain to make sure that we are getting there. So that is what has been happening to me right now. I'm a student.
Right.
Some of my friends are also being trained in different areas, and we are trying to
Mm-hmm.
pull down everything that we have to create some solutions. And we have now a map of 2 or 3 digital tools that we are working on. And so soon we're going to start implementing them in our communities.
Okay, very good. So it sounds like you're looking at a number of different mechanisms to kind of empower people, whether it's improved access to modern communication systems, increased education. One of the things that we've talked about in the past is that there's this sort of gap between what organizations want to do to help people and the things that people actually want when they're being helped. How do you navigate those differences? And maybe you've got some examples of what that might be. Those sorts of differences.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make people, if you want to understand what people want, is simply giving them an opportunity to say what they want. So basically, that's
Exactly.
what we are doing. So we are connecting people to us. And after people being connected to us and share what they have, what they're passing through, and what they think is right for them, we are connecting ourselves to the government and other international organizations. So basically, it's just to build the bridge whereby people will have access to say, to speak, give their opinions, and then use their opinions to create solutions. So basically, that's what we're actually doing, and that's actually what should be done, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the right way to approach it. I mean, the bottom up approach actually is just allowing the people that need to be served to say what they want exactly. And then you go out and you build it, as opposed to other organizations coming in from a foreign land saying this is what the people need, because they don't have this, assuming that's what the people want, right? It's beautiful that you guys are putting that together. Are you folks? How are you fundraising this? Are you folks doing grants or applying for grants of sorts, or grassroots fundraising?
Yeah, so far we have been having, we have three means. So we have created partnerships. There are two organizations, international organizations we are working with, and they have been able to give grant. So we got fund from them. But also we won a grant from a competition also recently, and also that was also one of the sources of fund. But also there are people who are individuals who see what we are doing and they feel like they can support it. So we welcome them, and some of them have already contributed so far. And we are looking forward to keeping on having more partnerships and having many people to support us. But also we are trying to monetize some of the digital solutions that we are doing. We are the organization, of course, but we are looking to improve sustainability on the solutions that we are making. So some of the tools that we are working on right now, the digital tools, we want to make sure that we monitor them so that they can help us in the sustainability, financial
Absolutely.
wise, of the solutions and the projects we are doing to the local communities.
That's really awesome. That's really cool. So, have you folks been teaching people on the ground about some of the new AI tools out there, like ChatGPT, to help them kind of get quick answers to questions that they might have?
Actually, that's one of the things that we are looking forward to be doing. This November, we have a boot camp in Arusha, the northern part of Tanzania, whereby we are going to do some digital technology uh, lessons to people in the local communities. So we are going to recruit people, and then we are going to give them access to some knowledge on how they can use digital technology, like the digital media and even social media, to get the solutions and to get access to health education. So that's also part of our plans, and we are working on it actually.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know you've also started a project called Dawa View, which is about helping to empower pharmacies through digital transformation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So DAWAView is one of the projects that we're working on. Dawa is again a Swahili word for medicine, and the view is English word for view. So
Yeah.
this is the inventory management software. We are going to help people who are running the pharmacy businesses to have a better sense of their procurement, but also to have a better sense of their businesses. So we came to realize that people are still using paper-based means of doing procurement, and this is not effective in terms of financial management, but in terms of record management as well. And as long as the majority of Tanzanians now have access to digital technology, they have access to internet. So we don't see if there is a reason for people to keep on using papers and pens while they can use more
Mm-hmm.
effective means of doing their financial management and procurement in their pharmacies. So we are creating a software whereby people who are having the pharmacies will be able to feed in their data and see what the business is going on, and also being able to create a good procurement plan. But also this will help them to make sure that they are not remaining with expired products. So we are solving another problem as well. But generally, as you can see, this is a project which is going to help them to manage their businesses, but also to help people in their localities. Because one of the features of this software is to is a machine learning model whereby it's going to help farmers owners to know the drugs that are needed in their local communities so that they can procure them. Sometimes
Yeah.
a certain local community might be in need of a certain medication because of like the disease pattern of that area as compared to another area.
Mm-hmm.
So this tool is going to help people in different areas to understand what medicines they're supposed to have in plenty so that people around there will be having enough access to it. So we are solving multiple problems, but all in all is to make sure that we're improving the business, but also the health situation of people in our local communities.
Right. It's improving the economic efficiency for the pharmacy because they have the right items in stock, but that also helps to serve the local community because sometimes you go to the store, they don't have the product you need. And if it's a luxury product or something like that, that's not a big deal. But if it's a medicine that you need, that's a really big problem. So, it's kind of solving two different problems and helping the community in two different ways.
It's
Exactly.
kind of amazing. I was just thinking, you come from a pharmacy background and then you moved into data science, and it seems like it came from a passion, right? You saw a gap within your community and you saw how technology can be leveraged to actually help the pharmacy space within that community. And you really, is that what drove you into your master's program right now
Yeah,
in data
exactly,
science?
exactly. So when I was doing my undergrad, I actually won a grant for designing a software with my friends, but we just submitted the idea and no one could code anything. So, it was a trouble. And then I came to realize that sometimes you might have ideas, but you cannot implement them.
Mm,
And it's not always you'll be getting people that can work on your ideas. You have an idea of doing something, you have a passion, but you're hiring somebody who doesn't have a passion. They just want money to, yeah. And so, like, things won't move. I came to realize that personally, I'm supposed to have the skills.
yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
the reason as to why I'm jumping now from just being a pharmacist to being a data scientist. My idea was to bring about the transformation in the health tech industry in my country. And so to get there, I knew that this is the path I'm supposed to take. I'm supposed to go into this technology path, having enough skills so that I'll be able to myself cater and create problems, create solutions to the problems that we have, and not depending on somebody else to do them for me. I know that I'll need a team. I need a team at some point. When we are doing big projects, we need a team. But personally, I just came to realize that it's very important for me to have skills. That's why I made a choice of the master's program that I'm doing now.
It's
Actually, I just
amazing.
have a week to go now.
Two complementary skill sets that's going to serve a greater purpose for your community. It's quite beautiful, actually. Most people just kind of, their parents tell them to go be a doctor, and then they're going to go follow that route or whatnot. But it sounds like you actually have a dream, you have a purpose, and I anything I could do to support that, you know. So tell us, you're working with a lot of grassroots mom and pops, local pharmacists on the ground in Tanzania, right? What are some of the
Yeah.
challenges that you face when working with that population, especially when you're trying to create a digital transformation there? There might be kind of gaps in their technological literacy, right? What are some of these other challenges that you might face, including maybe that?
Yeah, so that's very true. This January, I went to Tanzania and I was doing a mapping on the perception of pharmacy owners when it comes to utilizing the digital tools in doing their procurement management. And I would say 7 out of 10, they're still hesitant. They don't think that it is that much important. They also have fear. They're just comfortable in using the local means. So you need to convince people. You need to make them understand what is the importance of this thing, how helpful this is technology is going to help their businesses. It's a long way to go. You remember in 1986 when the calculators were introduced in schools, teachers
Right.
went on strike. They said this is a bad thing. It's not going to help people. Every time when a new technology is being introduced to
Change.
people, they usually have this sense of like trying to oppose it. But if
Yeah.
you tell people the importance of the technology, the importance of the transformation that they're supposed to go through, they'll understand it and they'll adopt it. So we know that it will take some time for people to accept it. But as a person who has been working in the community farmers area, I think already I have a certain influence on people to accept the technology because I've been practicing and I've seen a gap. So I have a real life backing evidence to tell people that this is important. And we hope that at some point they'll understand and they'll adopt it. So it's a process yeah, that's the way to go. And we hope that it's going to work like any other technology which have been introduced in the past. But now they are working and people accept them and it's a norm and they are very important and helpful.
Well, I think that that is a common problem, and it's not just with technologies, right? It's with processes, with ideas. A lot of times, people, when you come in with an idea like that or a technology or something, if they don't view you as an insider or a friend or someone that they trust, right? If you don't establish trust with people, they're going to sort of reject it outright. And so it's really about establishing that trust with people and helping them understand that this is a beneficial thing or a beneficial thing that can help their business, help their goals be accomplished.
Yeah. In addition to that, it's also just behavior change, right? You're asking them to do something that they are not normally doing on a day to day,
Yeah.
doing it in a different way, and that can be uncomfortable because the first couple of times when you do it, you don't know what you're doing or you feel like you don't until you get into that habit.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So do you have outreaches or chapters, or how do you sort of start engaging with the local communities? Because you've talked a lot about the sort of one-on-one with pharmacies and individuals. What mechanisms do you use to kind of engage with communities?
Okay, so the first way is we go physically to
Mm-hmm.
where people are. So we have been doing outreaches to market areas and different communities like faith-based gatherings as well. We have been to churches, we have been to concerts, and talking to people, doing the interviews, filling the questionnaires, and assessing the knowledge they have. That's one of them. And another thing we are doing, we prepare seminars and workshops. So we call people and people subscribe and come to the seminars. We give them knowledge and also we assess their knowledge. And also that's also one of the feedback we are getting from. But also the next thing which we are going to do right now is using the digital technology. As you have said, that we are working on the tools. So that's also going to be another way whereby we are going to utilize this large number of people in our country who have access to internet and social media. So those are basically the ways that we are getting connected to people.
That's super awesome, and it's making quite a big impact in these rural areas. Looking forward to seeing the impact that you're doing.
Yeah.
Josephat, it's been a wonderful conversation with you thus
Absolutely.
far, and I'm sure our listeners would love to learn a little bit more about you and what you do. Where can they find that?
So basically, right now I'm using social media, but I'm active in LinkedIn. My name is Josephat Hema. So in LinkedIn, if you post Josephat Hema, you see me there. But also we have a website for Street Afia. It is streetafia.org. And we have also social media pages. You can see the link from the website as well. So basically, me and the organization, that is where you can actually find everything.
All right,
Yeah.
excellent. Well, Josephat, thank you so much for joining us. I hope our listeners got as much value out of this as we did. Thank you again. We wish you the best, and we'll be in touch soon. Everybody give it up
Yeah, sure.
for Josephat. Thank you, Josephat.
Thank you, Josephat.
Have a great
Yes.
one. Take care, y'all.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We're hosted on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and many other podcast platforms. We release episodes on a regular cadence, and you can watch all of our episodes at ScienceLogic.com/podcasts.